Hello, class. In this lecture, we will discuss the activity of the Father in the Johannine writings. The Father is active in the world he created. John saw the Father as far too great to neglect the needs of those he had made. Jesus said, "My Father is working right up till now," John 5:17. Jesus referred to what he saw the Father doing and said that he himself did the same things, John 5:19. In this way, John brought out that Jesus was very close to his Father. Let's read John 5:16, 17, 18, and 19. For this reason, the Jews were persecuting Jesus, because he was doing these things on the Sabbath. But he answered them, "My Father is working until now, and I myself am working." For this reason, therefore, the Jews were seeking all the more to kill him, that is, Jesus, because he not only was breaking the Sabbath, but also was calling God his own Father, making himself equal with God. Therefore, Jesus answered and was saying to them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, the Son can do nothing of himself unless it is something he sees the Father doing. For whatever the Father does, these things the Son also does in like manner." It is true that God rested after the 6 days of creation. But this must be understood in the sense that he rested from creation. Unless he continued to be active in sustaining what he had made, it would cease to exist. Thus, Jesus refers to the Father's continuing activity in John 5:17. The Greek verb ergazotai, translated "is working" in this verse, is in the present tense, which indicates a continuous aspect of the verb or activity of the verb. In John 5:17, John said, "My Father is working until now, continuously, and I myself am working continuously." The Father brings glory to himself through the Son. Jesus prayed, "I glorified you on the earth," John 17:4, where the context clearly indicates that the glory came because Jesus had done the work the Father gave him. "I glorified you on the earth, having accomplished the work which you have given me to do." The second bullet tells us that Jesus assures his followers that he will answer their prayers. We see in John 14:13, Jesus says, "In order that the Father may be glorified in the Son, whatever you ask in my name, that I will do, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son." Next bullet tells us Jesus prayed that the Father would glorify his name. John 12:28 tells us, Jesus said, "Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came out of heaven, "I have both glorified it, and I will glorify it again." And the last bullet tells us, and Jesus prayed that the Father would glorify the Son in John 17:5. And Jesus said, "Now, Father, glorify me together with yourself, with the glory which I had with you before the world was." The Father's glory may be seen in the fruit of the disciples. We see in John 15:8, Jesus said, "My Father is glorified by this, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciples." John does not explain in this verse what fruit means. However, we find in the Galatians that the term is used to show the good qualities that Christians are expected to show in their lives. And Paul writes in Galatians 5:22, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law." The Father helps in the production of this fruit. The Father is the vine dresser, John 15:1. The Father prunes away all that hinders unfruitfulness. The Father has a firm grip on the believer. Jesus said, "My Father who has given them to me is greater than all, and no one is able to snatch them out of the Father's hand." So that gives us assurance of after we place our faith in Jesus, that we have assurance of our salvation. Nobody can snatch us out of the Father's hand. And that concludes this lecture on the activity of the Father. My source came from Leon Morris's book, New Testament Theology, pages 250 through 251. And that concludes this lecture.